Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, and thank you for your continued support of this particular platform that celebrates industry professionals all around the world. You are bold, brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you collaborate, you solve problems, you make the world a better place. We are broadcasting on site, Barcelona, Spain. This is the IoT Solutions World Congress. It is a collection of problem solving. It is an expanding ecosystem of individuals that are really focused on making the world better. And they want to collaborate with you. So if you don't have this one on your calendar, it is a must. You need to be here. If you're in the world of digital transformation, if you want to digitize your organization, this is the place to be, because you're going to find great digital Sherpas to help you along on that journey. Speaking of Sherpas, we have two, and we're going to be talking about branding. And we have Paula and Victor, and the how do you?
Batlle Group. Batlle Group.
Come on.
Battle Group.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It happens all the time.
Let's get cracking. Jeez. I stink at names. I stink at words. And of course you say it and it sounds so doggone cool. I struggle.
It's a very Catalan name, so
Yeah,
it's
it
normal
is.
that you struggle with it.
It happens all the time.
You guys having a good conference?
Yeah.
What makes this
Nice.
conference good for you guys? Because you guys have sort of a unique niche.
Yeah, actually, for us, we were looking forward to innovate and digitalization. It's a thing. I think it's a movement that we need to be on.
Yeah.
Sometimes on branding and marketing. I think if you jump early, you have an advantage, and if you don't, then
You're
you get behind.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. I think that we can have a digitalization of like you should stay like all the papers in your notebooks and now you pass it in your computer, but the thing of digitalization is more like a mindset, it's more like a movement that we have to join, and for me it's like a long process, and you will have all the growth if you are doing
See,
that.
I agree with you 100%. I think that if you're not in the game, if you're not actually, pursuing and educating and finding out more about it, you are going to be left behind. And the speed at which it's going, it's
You will be out.
It's not a little slow car. It is a bullet train that's taking place. Just begin. There's a lot of people that would love to have that conversation. Before we get into branding, I'm passionate about branding. Before we get into branding and why it's important for industry to do it correctly, Paula, give us a little background on who you are.
Okay, I'm Paula Batlle, as you're saying, and I'm the head of growth and innovation in Batlle Group. And my background is inside of design, the field, and the part of UX UI design, and the topic of grow the business in our clients, more than in a branding way, more in a design way, more in a constructive ecosystem of branding.
I love it. Victor.
In a resume.
Yeah, there, the end. We wrap it up.
I am the growth manager of Batlle Group, and I'm more involved on sales and marketing inside the company. And basically my job is to explain to our clients, to make them understand why branding is important or not for them, and for them to decide.
You bring up an interesting, I digress here. Is it sometimes not important to brand?
I think
It's out it.
I'm going,
I
really?
think like nowadays companies are very complex and they have sometimes limited resources, so they really need to focus on certain things in certain moments. I think it's super important if you hear out, I don't know, like I think in US it's very huge lately, Alex Hormozi, and he's rediscovering right now branding, and he's understanding how much impact you can create with it and how much you can go farther from your other competence around. So I think it's super important. It's just kind of timing.
It is. I don't see how you can get around it. I mean, many of these companies, if you're here at this particular event, there are a lot of startups. There are a lot of, and these startups typically are small in a sense, of course. They're just a handful of people who are in it. And they're in the technology, they're in the innovation, they're into that, like, just very focused, pinpoint focus on that. And they don't have the bandwidth to consider that whole market, that branding, the marketing, what really sustains the business. Outside of the tech, got it, it's all good. I'm not sitting here, don't send me any emails. But the reality is that has to be a part of the thought process.
You say it. For me, it's like the overview. For me, it's the kind of the overview, because you're focusing your pain point of your business that you want to solve. Like, it's kind of like, I want to make a tech solution for whatever, I don't know, but you have to have the overview of all of the business and all of the touch points that you have with your customers and the market and the trends, and that kind of overview can drive with the branding. In terms of like, I guess that maybe Victor wants to say, like, he knows which maybe is the problem in some business, but the person inside of the business maybe don't really know. And for me, the part of maybe our job is like to find the opportunity in some point that the person inside of the company really don't know and don't see that.
Yeah, I would imagine there's a tremendous amount of education that has to happen just to get individuals, get the founder to the point where they say, yeah, that's exactly what I hear what you're saying. I see the importance. I understand the necessity to do that. But I want to impart some sort of reality here. We want companies. We want these startups, any company, I don't care, be successful.
Exactly.
And that does happen in the world of branding.
Exactly.
So, Victor, take us through. If let's use a use case of I'm a new technology, been around maybe a couple of years, having some success. I've kept the door open. How would you take me through that whole journey of trying to truly define a brand that's mine?
Powerful. Yeah. So the thing here, it's also I wanted to, when I was answering before, I said from the point of hiring a brand company, like a specialist for branding, because branding you are doing it anyway. Like, you could do bad branding with no purpose, or you can do branding with an intention or not. So that's the main thing. So as you know, you are creating your website, your new brand website, and then they are asking you for a new logo for the exactly.
There it is.
for a new logo, and then you create a logo and you don't know exactly what you're doing, and then you see that there is a paper about the values of the company, where are you heading for. So you start doing that, but the big difference is that you're doing it trying to imagine how to create that. And for us, it's like we have been 30 years with a lot of types of companies, like from some of them that they are international and like big players on the market, and also small companies. So we kind of understand a bit better how to go through that. So if you are a person who is a CEO or a founder that right now you are starting to realize that it's important, your brand, to communicate, you should figure out who are you communicating to. So and what's your intention there also.
Your
like
purpose.
it's very different when you are trying, when you are going forward for something, but you are trying to hire some employees and you feel that no one is interested. They don't have interest to work with you because they don't know you. So you don't really need to imagine just branding to sell your customers. You also need to sell for your future employees. So that's the brand ecosystem has a lot of different touch points. So if you don't do that job during, like, really sit on it, we work a lot with workshops, and we try to take through that process any founder or CEO that is in that moment. or the big players of the company, like huge companies, they have their marketing, maybe they have their own agencies also, and we bring all together because they have things to say. So we put together everything, every piece, to look at the future. Like, we are not looking at tomorrow like some marketing campaigns. We are looking 10 years from here. So
it's a long process.
And when you know who you are, it's easy to decide which opportunities you take.
Okay. Yeah, you just touched on something that is really near and dear. From that brand, I'm sorry, let me change my camera.
Nice.
I got all goofy and geeky about it. But from that particular perspective, that brand, that logo, that identity also drives all of the other marketing and all the other sort of ancillary.
Totally.
It just, there's a consistency. There's no disconnect that exists. And if you nail that brand, then the other very important components, right, sort of flow, right, Paula?
Yeah. For me, I can say it in like one sentence. For me, a branding.
What do you mean? I didn't say it in a sentence?
No, because for me, it's like.
Oh my God.
No, a lot. It's kind of like it's so easy and it's so hard at the same time. For me, the branding is a brand experience that it composes a people in the center, a purpose, and an impact. For me, it can be like, and that part, it's more from the values, from the ecosystem of the touch points of the branding. No, you have now, like, your branding now is here with the logo, is in social media, is in LinkedIn, and it has to have different in LinkedIn from the voice and tone of voice that it's presented in Instagram. So this is branding. And this is like the long-term vision that we are building as a branders, for the marketers, make the campaigns for each kind of part, like maybe for Christmas, maybe for summer, we are making like some kind of different campaigns, but with a related voice and tone of the branding and the values.
Yeah, see, I can the process, just like a lot of companies who just sort of, let's say, using that same use case where I'm a small business, I just started, all of that stuff. Victor, can the process be painful? Is there an aha moment? Is there, just as you start to sort of unravel and start having those conversations, does it get to the point where somebody's going, yes?
Yeah, that happens. So the thing is that I can hear voices like from the podcast that they would be thinking, yeah, but I can do that. So the thing is that it's not exactly that. Like when you are creating something, it's very hard, because once you have all those values, you need to transform all those ideas, all that soul into a logo, into a tone of voice, exactly. So to do that, to be helped from someone outside from your vision, it helps a lot. So and that makes that kind of struggle at the beginning in that sense of, like, we try to push the people like around, no, like in the sense of like feeling like, oh, for me that was super clear, but we don't know your company, so asking about it, you start thinking about it, and it's like, it's true, that wasn't clear, and also my logo doesn't represent what I'm saying. It's like we are thinking, and it's not subjective, it's like we are trying to represent something very solid, and you can see the logo that it's like small lines and something. It's like, you're not representing solid at all. So it's like, what are you looking for? And once we have that, we have our creative team that they are experts that spend every hour of the day since the last 20 years. You
don't want to hang out with them and have a beer or two?
Yeah, you want.
Maybe.
And then they are the I can do it. I'm not able to do their job. They are excellent on that. So what they are able to do is to transform all those ideas, all that imagination into something specific and bold, no?
Yeah, we say the bold design.
What do you say, what design?
Bold design.
Okay.
Is that design that really represents that strategy that we are able to build with the customer, with the client, with the collaborative stakeholders and with the clients too of that business. We make workshops with the stakeholders, with the CEO, with the whatever inside of the company, the marketing team, the business team, the sales team is also important too, and the clients that are buying that product or that software or whatever. It's super important to have it all in one room because that kind of conversation are so powerful to represent after that in our branding and to focus on the pain points and the opportunities that we maybe have and expand out.
Do you, Paula, come in contact with, and I would imagine, and it would require a level of finesse on your part. You come across companies, and the companies are, no, we have our brand. We have it. And you look at it, and you're saying to yourself, yes, you do.
Yes, you do, with that kind of a small...
Yeah, that's right. I would imagine trying to get that CEO off of that position and saying, maybe consider some other options.
Yeah.
And you could probably, in a very tactful way, say, see, here's your social stuff, and here's your logo, and here's your color palette. Looks like an Easter egg.
It's a process too. It's a process.
Yeah.
We say that all kind of strategies and all kind of design is a process because we want to have all the research market and so on. But in that kind of research, we build a Canva, let's say, with all the parts of the branding. Let's say you communicate that way in social media, but inside of social media, you communicate in 2 lines, totally different that you are saying that kind of sentence in your website, and now in your stand, like here in a congress, you're communicating like another way. But when we say, like, we put the CEO here in a table and we say, okay, explain me your brand, like an elevator pitch, or explain me your business, explain me your problem and your solution. And now you see your social media, and now you see your website. Is that representative?
Yeah.
It kind of like, okay, it's not like align it. It's not that I wanted to explain to our customers. And here we have like an opportunity. And also with all of the stakeholders, we sit like in a one table, and all the stakeholders are explaining different things between all the board members.
Yeah.
And they figure out like, okay, we are saying that we are aligned, but we really don't align it. So that is a proof. And another proof that we have for our branding, like redesign, is the clients inside of a table and a conversation. When the CEO sees and listen the client says like, okay, this is a really bad design, or this is not that design that I will buy. Like, for example, in a beauty and cosmetics, we have one client, or we have more clients, but we have that kind of test and research with the customers, and we have all the glasses of creams, and the client says, okay, I guess that this is super cheaper, this is not going to be good for my skin.
Right.
And the CEO was there, and he said like, okay, this is a proof, I want to change it.
Well, I can't speak enough about getting the proper brand, because I'm not an expert. I just know what my eyes like and my eyes don't like, and it's sort of an interesting feeling when there's a disconnect. Like, what do you do? Okay, I don't see it. I'm confused, and a confused mind doesn't make a decision. So
Exactly.
and so you've got to tighten that up. And I think in the world of industry where things change so drastically and so rapidly, and you want that competitive advantage, I think the reality is that you better nail down that brand. You better nail it out, because everything just sort of goes from there. That's just vitally important. Oh, I can have this I'm all winded from that. That's how I'm all excited. I think that what you guys are doing is great. Paula, how do people get a hold of you? They're saying, I want to know more about how I can improve my brand. What would be the best way to get a hold of you?
I guess
LinkedIn? Get a hold of you. I want to contact Paula. I want to communicate with Paula. How do I do that?
LinkedIn.
Victor?
Same thing, LinkedIn. Or you can go just to our website, badllegroup.com, and you can find us there, and we will call you.
You guys were great. I met them last night. It was at a social. We were drinking drinks, and we were having a great conversation, and they were just absolutely energetic. They're very passionate. As you can tell, passionate about what they do. Excellent job. Reach out to them. They're going to have all the contact information for these two professionals, fine professionals, out on industrialtalk.com. So go out there, reach out. Don't hesitate. We are broadcasting from IoT Solutions World Congress. Barcelona, Spain is the location. Be here or be square. All the cool kids are hanging out here, so put this on your calendar for next year. Wait, we're going to continue this conversation, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Yes. That was a great conversation. I enjoyed Paula and Victor talking about branding, which is important, and everything just sort of, as I said and as they said, and everything springs forward from there. And given the fact that there's new technologies, new solutions out there, looking to collaborate, looking to do a lot in the world of industry, get that brand right. Reach out to these two. It's out on Industrial Talk, and I want to make sure that you put, FYI, put IoT Solutions World Congress or Barcelona Cybersecurity Congress on your calendar. It's an amazing event, and it's growing each and every year. That means they put on a great show with great individuals willing to collaborate, make that a must. Connection. Do it. Make it happen. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with both Victor and Paula. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation.